Welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive. Today, we're exploring the incredible teachings of Dr. Wayne Dyer and his ideas about the power of intention.
Ah, Wayne Dyer, a true legend.
Absolutely. He had this amazing way of making these really deep spiritual concepts, accessible to everyone.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he could take something complex, like, say, the power of intention.
Right. And make it feel like a cheat code for life.
Yeah.
But not in a sneaky way or anything.
More like tapping into something, some power source we all have within us. I think that's what he was getting at.
Absolutely. And he was really good at using stories, his own life experiences to illustrate these concepts. I mean, talk about a rough start.
Oh, yeah. Orphanages, foster homes, the whole 9 yards.
It's like something out of a comic book,
Yeah, like a hero's origin story. All that adversity just fueling his journey to understand life, help others overcome their own challenges.
Exactly. And he talked a lot about finding orphanage wealth, which, at first sounds kind of contradictory, right?
Yeah, it's not about money, is it?
No, not at all.
More about the resourcefulness, resilience you develop when you face hardship. Dyer really believed that, you can find opportunity even where others just see lack.
Like Katniss Everdeen in the Hunger Games.
Oh, good one. Yeah. She's got all the odds stacked against her, but she finds a way.
Uses those challenges to her advantage. Turns them into, strengths.
Exactly.
And, Dyer, he didn't just talk about these big abstract ideas. He had these great stories.
Down-to-earth stuff.
About, shoveling snow for cash as a kid, or even collecting, soda bottles for the deposit money.
Oh.
I mean, those little anecdotes, they make him so relatable.
Oh, absolutely.
This guy, he gets it. He's been there. So, okay, let's get practical for a minute. How do we actually use this intention to shape our reality? Dyer talks about this idea of thinking from the end.
Thinking from the end, yeah.
What did he actually mean by that?
Okay, imagine you're a gamer. You're prepping for a major tournament.
Okay, yeah.
You're not just practicing the moves, right? You're visualizing that victory.
Like you can feel it.
You feel it. You feel the controller in your hand, the exhilaration of winning. That's thinking from the end, experiencing the outcome, it's already happened. Dyer believed, I think, that when we do that, we align ourselves with that energy, with our desires, make them more likely to manifest.
It's like planting an idea almost.
Mm-hmm.
Like in Inception, right? Planting that idea so deeply that it becomes real.
That's a great analogy. And he even shared the story about visualizing his first car.
Really?
When he was young. Couldn't afford it at the time, but he would go to the dealership, sit in the driver's seat, smell the leather, imagine himself driving it. And eventually, he manifested that car.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's not just about wishing on a star. It's about actually feeling the reality of your goal.
Yeah.
But how does this all connect back to that idea of intention as an energy field?
Well, he used this analogy of a blank canvas, right?
Okay.
And every thought, every intention is a brushstroke. Each choice we make adds to the picture of our lives.
So it's like we're constantly creating.
We're constantly creating. He believed it wasn't just a metaphor, though. This is how energy actually works. Think about the observer effect in quantum physics, right?
Yeah.
Where observing something actually changes its behavior. He believed that our thoughts have this similar power. So when we focus our intention, we're putting energy into that specific outcome.
It's not just positive thinking. It's directed energy.
Yeah, it is. We're not just passive observers. We're actively shaping our reality.
Wow, that's pretty powerful stuff. But what about those times when life just throws us a curveball? Things happen that we didn't intend. Sometimes really bad things. How does intention work then?
That is a great question, and it leads us to another really interesting aspect of Dyer's teachings, the concept of synchronicity.
Ah, synchronicity.
Yeah.
This is where things get a little spooky.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like when you're thinking of someone.
Right, and then suddenly,
Out of the blue.
Dyer was convinced that these weren't just coincidences. They were signs, signs that we're on the right path, even when things seem completely chaotic.
It's almost like a cosmic collaboration, like we're not just along for the ride.
Exactly. It's like in Star Wars when Luke trusts the Force to guide his shot.
Even though he can't see the target.
He just knows.
Right.
Dyer had this amazing story about accidentally calling Deepak Chopra.
Wait, really?
He was prepping for a show about Chopra's work, thinking about him,
Yeah.
and he misdials and ends up talking to Chopra.
No way.
Yeah. It felt like destiny.
Wow. So we're not just talking about happy little coincidences. It's about this deeper connection to something bigger than ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, okay, so synchronicity, I kind of get that. But what about those curveballs that are really painful? You know, the ones that we really didn't intend. How do we make sense of those?
Well, that's where Dyer's emphasis on forgiveness comes in. He saw it as a really powerful tool for releasing negativity, for reclaiming our power.
Okay, we'll dive deeper into forgiveness a little bit later. But first, tell me more about how Dyer viewed these challenges. You know, did he believe that we could actually transform those challenges using intention?
Absolutely. He believed that we have the power to transform negative situations by bringing a higher energy into them. He often used this analogy of a candle in a dark room.
Okay.
The candle doesn't fight the darkness.
Right.
Its very presence just transforms the space.
It just changes the whole atmosphere.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that. It's like Harry Potter.
Oh, yeah.
Conjuring his Patronus to fight off the Dementors. The light doesn't actually battle the darkness.
Right.
It overpowers it.
It overpowers it, exactly.
So Dyer believed that we could do the same thing in our own lives.
He did.
Wow.
He talked about being a light worker, you know, someone who radiates positivity, kindness, understanding, even when faced with negativity.
Even when things are tough.
Think about Frodo in Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
Carrying this immense burden.
Right.
But never giving in to the darkness.
Never giving them.
He becomes this beacon of hope, even in the face of overwhelming odds.
That's really inspiring. So even when bad things happen, we have a choice in how we respond.
We do.
We can either let that darkness, consume us, or we can choose to be the light.
That's it.
Okay, that's a powerful message. But how does that connect to living a more fulfilling life?
Well, Dyer believed that being a light worker wasn't just about personal fulfillment. It was about contributing to a collective shift in consciousness.
He talked about critical mass, didn't he?
He did. He compared it to like a phase transition in physics,
Yeah.
where enough electrons align and they change the state of an atom. He believed that if enough people embraced a higher consciousness, a more loving, compassionate way of being, that it could create this ripple effect, transform the collective energy of humanity.
It's like that 100th monkey effect.
Oh, yeah.
Where a new behavior spreads, to an entire species once a certain number, a critical mass is reached.
Exactly.
Okay, that's an inspiring thought. But it also feels kind of overwhelming. I mean, what can one person really do to change the whole world? We're not all, destined to be Gandhi.
Right. Not everyone will lead a global movement, but everyone can make a difference. Even small acts of kindness, conscious living, they contribute to this collective shift. Remember, he would ask this every morning. What can I do for one person today? It's a great way to start your day with intention.
It is.
And focus on giving, not just receiving.
That's a simple but profound way to live with purpose. It's a great reminder that even small acts of intention can have a big impact.
Yeah.
Speaking of impact, let's talk about Dyer's relationship with his father.
Oh, yeah. Powerful story.
It's a really personal story, and it really sheds light on his philosophy of forgiveness.
Yeah. His relationship with his father, or rather the lack thereof, was a defining force in his life, really.
I mean, his father walked out when he was really young, left a lot of, unresolved anger, resentment.
Yeah, fueled a lifelong search for answers. He wanted to understand this man who had caused him so much pain.
That's like that classic hero's journey, searching for the missing father, longing for connection, understanding. Didn't he eventually find his father's grave?
He did, and it's a story filled with those synchronicities that just make you wonder.
Yeah.
If the universe is trying to tell us something.
Drop us a little hint.
There's this one anecdote about a rental car.
Wait, is this the one with the missing seatbelt buckle?
Yes.
I love that story.
He finds this business card tucked inside the buckle, and it leads him straight to the cemetery where his father is buried.
It's like something out of a movie.
It is.
Like one of those, glitch in the matrix moments.
Yeah.
Like makes you question if it's all just coincidence.
Right.
So he finds the grave, but I imagine it wasn't some, heartwarming reunion. What happened?
It was raw. very emotional, years of suppressed pain and anger just coming to the surface.
Wow.
But something shifted for him in that moment. Standing there at his father's grave, he chose to forgive.
That must have been so difficult.
Incredibly difficult. And Dyer makes it clear that, forgiveness isn't about condoning the actions.
Right.
It's about freeing yourself from the burden of that negativity.
From the poison. He used that great analogy, right?
Oh, yeah. Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to get sick.
Perfect analogy.
Really captures the self-destructive nature of resentment. And it's something so many people can relate to, right? Struggling to let go of past hurts.
Absolutely.
So his act of forgiveness, it wasn't about his father. It was about liberating himself.
It was about him.
And this became a cornerstone of his teachings. He believed that forgiveness, even in the most challenging situations, is the key to finding peace and healing.
So this wasn't just about letting go of the anger towards his dad.
No.
It was about tapping into a deeper level of healing, understanding.
Exactly.
Okay. So this experience, this whole experience at the grave, it really pushed him further on his spiritual journey then.
It did. He began to see life as this fleeting but profound experience within a much larger context.
Right.
This is where his teachings about being spiritual beings, having a human experience, come into play.
Okay, break that down for me. What
Yeah.
what did he mean by that?
He believed that our true nature, it's not limited to our physical bodies or our ego-driven desires. At our core.
Yeah.
We're infinite beings connected to a divine source.
Okay.
And he used this brilliant metaphor of parentheses to describe the brevity of human life. Birth is the opening parenthesis, death is the closing parenthesis.
Yeah.
But outside those boundaries lies the infinite.
Wow, that's a powerful image. It puts things in perspective, especially when we get caught up in all the anxieties and stresses of everyday life.
Yeah.
But how do we actually connect with this infinite side of ourselves? It all sounds a bit abstract.
Well, Dyer believed that forgiveness is one of the most direct expressions of our spiritual nature, a way to align with the energy of love and compassion.
Okay. So forgiveness isn't just about letting go.
Yeah.
It's about tapping into something much deeper, something that connects us back to our true essence.
That's it. He didn't see it as something we need to earn or strive for, but as our birthright, our true nature.
It's about remembering who we really are.
Exactly. And he often talked about the 4 archetypes of adulthood as a way of understanding this spiritual evolution.
Okay, like stages of personal growth.
Yes.
Okay.
He drew on Carl Jung's work, describing these archetypes as stages. We start with a focus on external achievement, like the warrior archetype. Then we move towards a more internal sense of fulfillment, like the statesman.
Okay.
And ultimately to a realization of our spiritual nature, the spirit.
So forgiveness helps us move through those stages,
Yep.
transcend the limitations of the ego, and connect with our true selves.
Exactly. By choosing forgiveness, we align with the energy of our source, that divine energy that flows through everything.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. But what about those times when we get stuck in negativity, doubt, fear? Dyer talked a lot about the power of positivity, didn't he?
He did, and it went way beyond, just think happy thoughts. He explained how it actually works, the mechanics of it, and he connected it to quantum physics.
Wait, quantum physics? How did he bring physics into this?
Well, he believed that our thoughts aren't just, these passive things happening in our heads. They're powerful forces that actually shape our experiences. He linked this to the observer effect in quantum physics, where simply observing something can change its behavior.
So you're saying our thoughts can actually change the world around us?
Dyer believed they could. He challenged people to really examine their dominant thoughts. Are they focused on what's wrong, what's lacking, what they fear, or are they centered on gratitude, possibility, love? He believed that shifting our focus, consciously choosing positivity, could radically transform our lives.
Okay, I see where you're going with this. But how do we stay positive when life throws us those curveballs? I mean, it's easy to say think positive, but it's much harder to actually do it.
Yeah.
Especially during, tough times.
You're right, it is. He had this great analogy about how how highly successful people. They're like pit bulls
Pit bulls.
when it comes to their dreams. Once they lock onto something, they just refuse to let go.
Okay.
They maintain that focus. They act as though that desired outcome is already on its way.
So it's about having that unwavering belief.
Yeah.
Like, don't just dream it,
Yeah.
be it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not about denying reality. It's about choosing to focus your energy on what you want to create, not on what you fear. He used a simple example. When you pull into a crowded parking lot,
Okay.
what's your first thought?
Probably there are no spaces.
Right.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to find the perfect spot.
Yeah. I've definitely been guilty of that no parking mindset.
And how often does that lead to just driving around frustrated and stressed?
Pretty often, actually.
But when you shift your focus to finding that space, believing it's there, how often does it work out?
Yeah, you're right. Usually a space opens up.
Right. Somebody leaves, or you get lucky, someone offers you their spot. It's a simple example, but it shows how our thoughts actually, they create our reality.
So Dyer was basically saying, don't just wish for it, work for it,
Mm.
but also believe in it.
Yes.
Okay?
Align your thoughts, your actions, your energy.
All of it.
And a big part of that is understanding the difference between motivation and inspiration.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
Okay.
What's the difference and why does it matter?
Okay. So Dyer believed that motivation, while it can be effective, it's often driven by external forces,
Okay.
deadlines, rewards, pressure to achieve.
That classic go-getter mentality.
Exactly. It's about willpower, discipline, but it can also lead to burnout and this constant sense of striving that never really ends.
Sounds exhausting.
It can be. Inspiration, on the other hand, it comes from a much deeper place.
Yep.
It's about aligning with your purpose, tapping into a source of energy and creativity that's bigger than yourself.
It's less about forcing things to happen, more about allowing something to flow through you.
Exactly. Dyer loved this story about the playwright Arthur Miller.
Okay.
When asked if he was working on a new play, Miller replied, "I don't know, but I probably am." That's the essence of inspiration, being so connected to your creative source that the work flows naturally, effortlessly, joyfully.
It's like those moments when you're so engrossed in something that time just seems to disappear.
Mm-hmm.
You're fully present, and the results are they're better than anything you could have planned.
He called that being, in the zone.
In the zone.
And he believed that it's a state we can all access when we tap into that energy of inspiration.
Okay, so it's about letting go of control,
Yeah.
trusting the process, allowing the universe to kind of guide us. But doesn't that contradict the whole idea of intention?
Well, it might seem that way, but they actually work together. Intention sets the direction, and inspiration fuels the journey. He often talked about removing the corrosion between ourselves and the field of intention, the corrosion created by fear, doubt, negative thinking.
So it's like clearing away that mental clutter
Yeah.
that's blocking us from accessing our true potential.
Exactly. And it's not just about creative work.
Mm-hmm.
Dyer believed that inspiration flows through every aspect of our lives,
Right.
from our relationships to our health, to our sense of purpose.
It's about aligning with our true selves.
Yeah.
And allowing that energy to guide us. Okay, all of this is making a lot of sense. But how did Dyer define success? It wasn't just about wealth or achievements, was it?
No. He had a much deeper, more holistic view.
Mm-hmm.
He believed that true success is about living in alignment with our purpose, radiating positivity, contributing to the well-being of others.
So it's about finding fulfillment from within rather than seeking external validation.
Exactly.
Okay.
He often quoted Henry David Thoreau's definition of success.
Oh, yeah?
If one advances confidently in the direction of his dreams and endeavors to live the life which he has imagined, he will meet with a success unexpected in common hours.
That's a beautiful way to look at it. So we don't need to chase success. We just need to live authentically, pursue our dreams with passion, and trust that success will follow.
You got it.
Okay.
And he believed that this kind of success, aligning with our true selves, it naturally leads to a more harmonious and fulfilling life.
Right.
But it's not always easy, is it?
No, it's not.
Especially when fear and doubt creep in.
Right. Okay, let's talk about that. How did Dyer address fear? He often
Mhm.
said that it was the biggest obstacle to living a fulfilling life, didn't he?
He did. He believed that fear is the opposite of love, connection, everything we truly desire.
So how do we deal with it?
Well, he would often say that fear is just a thought.
Okay.
A thought that we can choose to transform by focusing on something more powerful, more aligned with our true nature. One of his favorite quotes from A Course in Miracles.
Okay.
If you knew who walked beside you at all times on this path that you have chosen, you could never experience fear or doubt again. It's beautiful, isn't it?
It is. It gives me chills just hearing it. It's like having a spiritual bodyguard, a cosmic cheerleader whispering encouragement and reminding you that you've got this.
Yeah, exactly. And for Dyer, it wasn't just a comforting thought. It was a lived experience. He felt this constant presence, this senior partner, working alongside him, guiding his path, supporting his every move. And this connection, it gave him the confidence to trust his intuition, to take risks, to pursue his purpose without hesitation.
That's incredible. So it's not just about feeling supported, it's about tapping into a power source that dissolves fear.
Exactly. It's like shining a light on a shadow. Fear simply can't exist in the presence of such a powerful force.
Wow. I love that. So it's about remembering that we're never truly separate from that source of love and wisdom,
Yeah.
that we can access it anytime, anywhere. But even knowing that, I think we all struggle with fear sometimes. What did Dyer say about those moments when it feels like fear has us in a chokehold?
He believed that the ego is often the source of our fear and doubt.
Yeah.
The ego wants to, keep us safe, protect us from harm, control our environment.
Makes sense.
But in doing so, it creates limitations, anxieties, a constant sense of lack.
So it's about recognizing those ego-driven thoughts
Yeah.
and choosing to align with a higher perspective that comes from love, trust, and connection.
You got it. And it's not about, denying our feelings or pretending that fear doesn't exist. It's about recognizing that fear is just the thought.
Yeah.
And we have the power to choose a different thought, one that's more aligned with our true nature.
It all comes back to intention, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Choosing to focus our thoughts and energy on what we want to create.
Exactly. Dyer's teachings about intention, forgiveness, positivity, inspiration, they all point to this idea of connecting with our spiritual essence, that source of love and wisdom that's within us all.
And it's amazing how he connected seemingly disparate ideas like quantum physics and spiritual teachings to create this really powerful framework for living a more intentional and fulfilling life. He didn't shy away from the big questions either, like the nature of trust and the role that it plays in our experience of the world.
You're right. Trust was a huge theme for him. He really believed in the inherent goodness of humanity. And he would often talk about how his own experiences, like hitchhiking across the country in his Navy uniform,
Wow.
reinforced that belief.
That's a great example. I mean, most people today wouldn't even think about picking up a hitchhiker.
I know.
But Dyer approached life with this radical sense of trust. It's
Yeah.
almost counterintuitive in our current world.
It is. But he believed that the energy you project
Yeah.
is the energy you attract.
Okay.
I often say what goes around comes around.
Right.
Not in a karmic sense of punishment or reward, but in the sense that our inner state, it shapes our outer experiences.
So if you approach life with fear and distrust,
Mm-hmm.
you're more likely to encounter negativity.
Yeah.
But if you radiate positivity, kindness, trust, you invite those same energies back into your life.
Exactly.
Okay? I mean, think about it. We've all had those days where everything just seems to go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And often it's because we started the day with a negative mindset, a feeling of resistance.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you wake up on the wrong side of the bed
Mm-hmm.
and suddenly everything's a disaster.
Totally.
But Dyer was suggesting that we have more control over the weather patterns of our lives than we realize.
Yeah. He was.
Okay.
It's not about pretending that challenges don't exist. It's about choosing how we respond to them.
Right. So do we approach them with fear and resistance,
Mm-hmm.
or do we see them as opportunities for growth, for transformation?
That's it.
It's about shifting from why is this happening to me
Yeah.
to what can I learn from this?
Exactly.
How can I use this to be a better version of myself?
That's the power of intentional living. Aligning our thoughts, our actions, our energy with our higher purpose, with that source of love and wisdom within.
We have the power to choose our thoughts, our beliefs,
Mhm.
our actions. And those choices, they shape the reality that we
They
experience.
do. It's not about quick fixes or easy answers, but about embracing a whole new way of being.
And I love how we always, brought it back to practical steps we could take to align with our intentions and
Yeah.
create a more fulfilling life. Like his morning ritual of asking, what can I do for one person today? Such a simple yet powerful way to start the day with a focus on giving and connection.
Beautiful reminder that true happiness, it doesn't come from what we accumulate, but from what we contribute, from the love and connection we create with others. It all comes back to his core belief in the interconnectedness of all things. We're not, isolated individuals striving for personal gain. We're part of a web of relationships, a tapestry of shared experiences.
That's why acts of kindness and generosity are so important.
Yeah.
It's not just about making someone else feel good. It's about contributing to a more positive and harmonious world for everyone. A rising tide lifts all boats, right?
Exactly. And Dyer's teachings, they offer a practical roadmap for how to do this, from practicing gratitude and forgiveness to embracing our creativity and connecting with our spiritual source.
Wow. This has been an incredible journey diving into the world of Dr. Wayne Dyer. His work is a testament to the power of intention, the transformative potential of forgiveness, and the profound impact of living in alignment with our true selves.
His teachings are timeless, and his message continues to resonate with people from all walks of life. It's a reminder that true happiness and fulfillment, they're not destinations we reach, but ways of being that we cultivate through our thoughts, actions, and intentions.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the power of intention, we encourage you to explore Dyer's work further and see how his insights can transform your life. Who knows?
Mhm.
You might even find yourself feeling a little more trusting, a little more courageous, a little more connected to that source of love and wisdom within.
And who knows, you might even be inspired to pick up a hitchhiker along the way. Just make sure you have that spare seatbelt buckle handy.
Until next time, fellow deep divers, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep living with intention.
Wait.